On my way to Melbourne from Brisbane, we've taken a little bit of a detour out through outback New South Wales in three Scania R series, an R480, which is an SCR 6-cylinder, an R620 V8, and of course the flagship R730 V8. The R series has had a bit of a facelift. Scania have reintroduced the Streamline concept. The Streamline is actually a concept that was first coined in the early 90s to celebrate Scania's centenary, and they've revived it to give the R series cab a bit of a makeover. Europe is going towards Euro 6. A lot of the other manufacturers brought out new cabs, completely new platforms for Euro 6. Scania have been running Euro 6 for quite a while. This time last year they had 1,000 Euro 6 trucks on the road in Europe anyway, so there wasn't a need to go up to a Euro 6 platform. So instead, Scania is saying that they're optimising the R series. So they've optimised the driveline, and they've also tried to optimise the aerodynamics of the R series cab. So as you can see, traditionally the R series had a deflector on the side here to keep spray and grit away from the mirrors and the windows. Wind tunnel testing meant that they've been able to bring the lip down to just like the deflector down to a little lip. Headlight shrouds have been redesigned. The sun visor has had the ends taken out of it, as you can see up there, and that's so that no longer traps wind. And the driving lights have been redesigned. So, and all this is in an effort to give the Streamline a streamlined shape. Added to that, there's also a new the OptiCruise automated transmission now is available as a low drag transmission. Over the course of the trip, I've rotated through all three trucks. I was lucky enough to take this 730 out of Brisbane up Cunningham's Gap as a B-double, 730 horsepower, and it ate that hill. And once we got to Gilgandra, we actually hooked this up as a B-triple. As a B-triple, it was really interesting. It was, as it's 730 horsepower, it was like towing a B-double, but in performance-wise. The only time you were really aware of the extra weight, we were close to 80 tonne gross on the road train route west. And okay, it was pretty flat ground, but a bit of momentum and a bit of horsepower did wonders. It really scooted along the road nicely. Where you do notice it, of course, is that you can't change the laws of physics. It is a much heavier combination, so you had to think about things a little bit more when it's time to brake or turn a corner, because the Scania is deceptively quiet. You need to be thinking about what you're doing. One thing that's really come to the fore through this trip has been the ride and the road handling of the Scania. We've been on some pretty rugged and ordinary roads. Once you get off the beaten track, a lot of broken asphalt. And Scania have managed to find a nice balance between comfort and road handling. You can actually feel what's going on around you, but you're not being pounded in the kidneys by the rough surface of the road. It doesn't have that overly suspended sort of sloppy feel about it. It actually stays firm and rides quite well, which makes it quite predictable, because they are a very manoeuvrable truck. The steering in the wrong hands can be very direct, and that combination of a good ride, all that sort of thing, stopped you sort of rolling around in the cab, steering the cab rather than steering the front wheels. Another area where Scania have picked up is they've been able to get a little bit more fuel onto the chassis. Down on the left-hand side here, the tank's been extended a little bit, so fuel capacity is now up to 1,030 litres, which has been a bit of a bugbear for operators in the past, not quite being able to get enough fuel onto the Scania chassis. The drive down to New England with a lot of climbs and grades was a really good chance to play with the driving style that Scania really promote. Scania are putting a lot of effort into aftermarket coaching and driver coaching, and with these sort of things, the idea being that not only is the truck optimised, but the driver is optimised, and you get real-time information as you're driving as to whether you're driving in a fuel-efficient manner through a driver display. After leaving Gunnedah, we headed down to Gilgandra and it was there that we broke up the three B-double sets that we had, and we turned the R730 into a B-triple. And over that leg from the small town of Nevertire out to Cobar, I had a fuel average of about 145 kilometres a litre, which is not too shabby for a combination that's crossing just under 80 tonne, and we had a fairly blowy kind of headwind as well. From behind the wheel, not a great deal's changed with Scania, but it's always they've always had quite an ergonomic layout inside the cab. But all the controls are within easy reach. One of the big pluses from my point of view with the Scania has been the Scania retarder. It's an awesome bit of gear. If you're doing the right speed at the top of a hill and you're in the right gear, it's amazing how much that will hold a heavy combination. We descended the Moonbees just north of Tamworth on the New England Highway, which is very long and deceptively long, in fact, steep grade, and the retarder did an astonishing job of holding back a nearly full weight B-double, and it does it without a lot of noise. So the last 2.5 days on the road with Scania has been a real eye-opener for me. It's been great to have access to the 730 and the 620 and sort of get them out into the boondocks and just see how they behave in real-world conditions. We tend to think of heavy-duty applications being the domain of North American, big literage trucks, and getting the Scania out onto the open road and seeing what it'll do with this configuration, because it may actually be the eastern seaboard configuration of the future.